So just so you all know, this is a test. One of the hardest things to do when we're in school is to take notes on something we read or something we're listening to. What, right? Person in purple? It's a hard thing. How do you know what to write? Do you just copy the whole thing in there? How do you put it in your own words? But I can tell when people have been in my class for a while because they start to realize, oh yeah, I don't write everything down. I just take a few little notes and that's what Amy's looking for. Okay, so I want the person who looked at the personal letter to read me the notes that she had. What is a personal letter?
It's if you were a letter to one person.
Okay. Letter to another person. Okay, and what's the reason? What are some reasons why people would write a letter to another person?
It could be to inform.
Okay.
Or entertain.
To inform.
Okay.
So that would be giving them information, things they need to know that the other person needs to know. But it could also be to entertain. So how could a personal letter be entertaining? For those of you who are here, how could a personal letter be entertaining? In what situation or how?
Like in the olden days when there was no WhatsApp.
I like this! Like in the olden days, yes. So this is an olden days assignment. If you choose a personal letter, you are going back to the olden days. No more texting Kay, what's up? Good, how are you? Yeah, be here at 5. Instead, it's like, I have been thinking about you for days. How are things going in your life? I would love to go out for supper with you again sometime. So we're getting the whole story back into letter writing. Yeah, so we don't write these much anymore. So it would be neat if you choose this one to write a letter to somebody. Okay? And who could our audience be?
The person you wrote.
Yeah, the person you're writing to. So, can anybody think of any personal letters they've written in the past? Like longer letters to a person in their life who's personal. So it's friendly and it's someone you care about. Can you think of any?
When we first moved to Mexico, my friend and I would always exchange letters.
Okay, so with your friends, yeah. And like in the mail, like old fashioned? Isn't that exciting? See, we never get to do this anymore.
We got a letter like once a year because it took 6 months.
Wow.
So we got it. I don't know
Mexican Post is horrible.
why. It is.
We sent,
terrible.
yeah, a letter my daughter to her grandmother when we lived there. She's never received it. Sorry, you were telling us you've written one recently, or?
Yeah, there was. It sounds funny.
Yeah.
There was always this little magazine.
Yeah.
Sounds black.
Yeah.
They said they're looking for somebody who wrote their letter.
Nice.
I did it actually to Mexico. I have no idea who those ladies are or what they're.
But you wrote them a letter.
Yeah.
Nice. Way to go, person in purple. I like that. Person in pink-ish color over there. Have you written a personal letter recently? No? Okay.
But
Is
I
that
also have
fashion? Yeah.
letters to my friends.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you have experience with personal letters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a few because.
Yeah. Yeah. I always use the example of my mom. When I lived in Africa, she wrote her personal letters they were mostly to inform. So she would tell me every day what they did. They were not entertaining, and I always thought, oh, it's nice knowing what you're doing, but can you tell me how you feel? Can you tell me a story about Dad or something, you know? So it's nice if we can make sure that our personal letters, I mean, for the person reading them, that they're entertaining and informative at the same time. Thank you, person in purple. Biography. What is a biography?
It's a story of a person's life written by another person.
Okay, so story of person's life written by another person. Awesome. And what's the purpose of a biography? Why are they written?
It can be to inform or a narrative to tell a story.
Yeah, inform or as a narrative. Yep. And who would be the audience, do you think, for a biography?
It can be someone special, but also the general public.
Yeah, so it could be someone special. So for example, you know, if you're doing a family person in your family and you want to, you know, give it to the rest of your family so they remember grandma, it can be someone special, or it could just be to the general public. So depending, now here's the thing about biographies. There's lots of biographies of lots of famous people out there, and some of them are authorized and some are unauthorized. You guys, would you know what would be the difference between those two? So an authorized biography and an unauthorized biography? Anyone want to take a guess?
Could it be authorized that the person you're writing it about authorizes you to do that?
Yep.
And the other one would be more you observe them, you write the story, but it doesn't authorize it.
Right. So, for example, a very controversial figure right now in our world, or somebody who people have strong opinions about, is Donald Trump, right? So if someone wrote his biography and it was authorized, if he said, yes, please write this about me, and he gave them information, it would probably be very favorable. Like he would become, you would think, oh, he's a good person, right? If it was unauthorized, someone who maybe did not like Donald Trump, they might write things about his life that he doesn't feel he would want to share, right? So there are a lot of authorized and unauthorized biographies out there. When we're doing them for our class, we're not thinking about really making a book, but we're thinking about who would we want to read this, this thing about our grandmother or about an uncle or whatever. So when it comes to your life map, oh, and I should go back to this one too. When it comes to your life map, you might choose one person on your map and say, I want to write a little biography about that person. How do you think you would order that biography, or how do you think you would plan for writing a biography? What would make the most sense if you're writing a person's biography about where to start and where to end?
Some highlights of that person?
Sure, yeah. We would probably start out with where they were born and who they are, and end, if they've passed away, you'd probably end with their death. It's like you're making a little life map for that person, just that person. So for your life map, if you want to write a biography about one of those people, that's an option. For the personal letter, the idea here, when you're looking at your life map, is you could choose one person on your life map and write a personal letter to that person. You could even write a personal letter to yourself. Dear Jamie, I notice you've been struggling these days. How are things going with you? You've been really busy and you're looking like you're kind of crazy. Okay, so if you want, you can even write a letter to yourself, all right? But you can choose anyone on your life map and write a letter to them. And it could also be someone who's not here anymore. If there's someone on your life map who's passed away and you want to write a letter to that person, feel free to do that. So this is where your life map comes in. Okay, autobiography, person with the hat.
The story of a person's life written by another.
Right, written by who? Story?
By that person, I mean.
Yes. Story of a person's life, written by that person. So if you choose this one, you have your whole writing plan there for you, right? From the start to the finish. You might add things, but if you choose to do your autobiography, of course it's a mini one, it doesn't have to be super long, you would have all your pre-writing done on your life map. And what's the purpose of it?
To inform, entertain, to tell your story.
Yep.
Tell people about yourself.
Yep. Inform, entertain, tell your story. Yep. And who would be the audience for that? Who would be reading that?
Could be the general public.
Yep. Could be just your family and friends. Yeah, so you would definitely plan what you want to write, depending on who you know is gonna be reading it. Okay, I'm just gonna scroll down to these two, and I'm just gonna have the people in class shout out some things to me for these last two. So we're looking at personal narrative, a short story, or a journal entry. So who wants to give me a few points about what a personal narrative is? So don't read out the answer to me, or the definition, but give me your few points about what a personal narrative is. lots of really loud people in here.
Just a story that covers an event.
Yeah, a story of an event in your life. Because again, it's personal. A story of an event in your life, written by you, right? You are the narrator. You are the person telling the story. So here's the question. What's the difference between